Hi, hello, and welcome back, everybody, to Sakura Dungeon. Last time we were exploring the 18th floor, and today we are taking on the boss that resides on the 18th floor. Before we move on, of course, did it again. I don't know why this keeps doing this, but every time I exit to the main title, even after saving, it just undoes all the healing I've done. Junk. Okay, there we go. Wait a minute. Oh, well, too late. Too late, noob. Anyways, stepping aside, I don't think either of us were expecting what we were seeing. A queen bee surrounded by drones lazily sits there. Huh. I really did not see this one coming in like the slightest bit at all. This is pretty interesting. Okay. Okay. The Queen Bee, you say? There's a steady hum throughout the air, and it is apparent that we have stepped inside a beehive. Bees? asks Siri. I hate bees, she says. These are slightly different bees to what you would expect, Yomi says. To say the least, Siri says. Bees are bad enough, but what can be expected of bee girls? It depends on the subspecies, Yomi says. This particular one is fairly passive, save for the queen bee. This is the natural order of things, says the forest spirit. Not every bee can be a queen. Not everyone is born to lead. Some are born to serve. A queen who allowed themselves to be dominated by the dungeon lord, says the nine-tailed fox. Is there no pride amongst royalty these days, she asked. The last thing I was expecting was to find a hive down here, Sylv says. The dungeon lord does not seem to be choosy with her allies. Not at all, Yomi agrees. A well-established hive can be a threat in itself, says Yomi. However, imagine this hive working in conjunction with the rest of the dungeon's forces. Oh, says the queen bee. I did not know that we had guests. Tell me, for what purpose are you bothering me? Asked the queen bee. You can clearly see that I'm in the middle of something. The drones just stare at us. One of them begins buzzing. The queen listens to her intently. Ah, so that's what it is, says the queen bee. You're the ones the dungeon lord put out an alert for, says the queen bee. But honestly, I could not care less at the moment. You may resume your duties, my drones, says the queen bee. Sure enough, they go straight back to licking honey off of her body. I see. That's kind of insulting, says Siri. That's royalty for you, Yomi says. Shall we hurry up and beat some humility into this queen bee, Siri asks. Oh yeah, we're gonna beat some humility into her. Probably gonna miss. Yeah, not really surprised. Start off with some light attacks. So I can just like So Siri is effectively useless in this situation. That's great. Oh, no, okay, she's not completely useless. It was just part of her ability, I suppose. It's kind of the same as S-Field, I guess. Triple slash. Water orb. Combust. Damn. Alright, single slash. Well, nothing. You're definitely annoying. That's for sure. Not impossible to beat, but for sure annoying. Come on. Almost there. Almost there. Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot Yomi had that ability. Haha. Quite skilled fighters you are, says the Queen Bee. How about we call a truce, she asks. A truce, Siri asks. For what purpose? I happen to know something that you might find useful, says the Queen Bee. You are looking to go further down, correct? She asks us. Yes, Yomi replies. And would you happen to know something that can help us do that? She asks. I am the queen of this floor, after all, says the Queen Bee. There are certain secrets trusted to me as is fitting of royalty. And why would you be willing to part with these secrets? Siri asks. What people fail to understand is that remaining in the seat of power requires negotiation. When you do not possess the might to defeat your enemies, you use diplomacy, says the Queen Bee. I know that I cannot defeat you, so I am now bargaining with you, she says. Pure and simple. A peaceful resolution to this conflict would be the best outcome, says the Forest Spirit. Every drop of blood is nature weeping for her children. So the loser attempts to subvert their fate and bow their head, asks the nine-tailed fox. How pitiful. We should not be willing to grant them mercy. Silence, says Yomi. One of the defining doctrines of the Elven metropolis is the right to negotiation, says Sylve. It is not that I doubt Yomi will agree, but I also want to tell you that I will also give you your negotiation. There is much about the Elven metropolis I do not know, says Yomi. You really must tell me what happened there. Anyways, back on topic, Yomi says. All we need is the means to proceed down to the lower floors, says Yomi. Can you offer us one? It depends, says the Queen Bee. Have you seen the door? I have not seen this door you speak of, Yomi replies. Well, says the Queen Bee, that is the way to get to the lower floors, but it cannot be opened without casting the right spell. I know the spell, and I am more than willing to tell you, says the Queen Bee. I have no love for the Dungeon Lord, and I am content to spend my time with my many drones, she says. So, I will tell you this. She beckons me to come closer. The words I will whisper into your ear will open the way, says the Queen Bee. Simply recite them in front of the door. As I lean in, she begins to whisper, to hum, to buzz. I can feel strange alien knowledge pouring from her lips into my mind. Every word spoken plants a seed of wisdom in my head. Slowly, ever so slowly, the humming stops. So, there is the secret, says the Queen Bee. How interesting, Yomi says. Another ancient language, I am presuming, Yomi asks. Exactly, says the Queen Bee. Now, then, I have fulfilled my end of the bargain, she says. Take your warriors and leave me in peace. You are welcome to visit me if you wish to pay me tribute. Siri just stands there with a confused look on her face. Everything in this dungeon just continues to surprise me, Siri says. The pyramid word. The Queen Bee seems to want a gift or tribute. Perhaps you could come back later if you find something appropriate to give her. Heard. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and head on down to the 19th floor. Let's see if we find ourselves a warp portal there. Hopefully we do. Excuse me, ladies, but I do not have the time to spend conversing with you. Yes. We proceed down the dark corridor. A faint light flickers in the distance. Yomi? Siri asks. I can't see a damned thing. Siri has long since abandoned the use of torches since most of the dungeon has been well lit. It's alright, says Yomi calmly. Just keep walking towards the light. You realize what that's a metaphor for, right? Asks Siri. You worry too much, says Yomi. We keep going down the corridor, and it is then that we emerge into the light. A massive, intimidating gate appears before us. Strange symbols are etched into its surface. What on earth is this gate? Siri asks, astonished. The natural world around us is warping, says the forest spirit. I do not see what the fuss is about, says the nine-tailed fox. A gate, no matter how ancient and mystic looking, is still but a glorified door. The architecture bears a resemblance to a certain ancient civilization, Sylph says. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would this be here of all places? Sylph asks. Someone moved it here for one purpose or another, Yomi says. What kind of person has the power to simply move something like this? Sylph asks. Someone who we had better be prepared to deal with, says Yomi. I motion for everyone to be silent. I walk up to it and run my hands across the surface. At least we know it's enchanted, Yomi says. Siri looks more closely at the symbols engraved into it. Do you think these symbols have any meaning? Asks Siri. I'm not sure, Yomi replies. My knowledge about my dungeon isn't going to be useful from here. But it is kind of exciting, Yomi admits. How is it exciting? Siri asks. I really don't know what's going to come next, says Yomi. There could be anything lying beyond this gate. Right, says Siri. Now then, Yomi continues. Let's see if I can remember the words properly. What I am speaking is an ancient language that I'm unfamiliar with, but even then I can feel great power resonating with these words. As the words echo throughout the corridor, I can hear the great stone doors in front of me grinding together. Bit by bit, the gate begins to part, responding to the ancient language. Eventually, the passage is wide enough to pass through. I could feel its power, Siri says. Whatever civilization spoke that language must have been a truly great one. Indeed, Yomi agrees. If such an ancient words are spoken merely to open the way to the next floor, then what could be waiting below? Yomi asks. Oh, ooh. I like the layout of this floor. Very Egyptian. Alright, everybody. I'm going to call it here for this episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you next time for more Sakura Dungeon when we explore the 19th floor. I'm so excited.